Hey, what's up, Holster fam? You guys know who it is. Now, this is going to be a different type of video than what we usually have on the channel. It's more narrative and character driven. This is about getting you guys to understand why and how Princess Snake and Raditz got together. Now, to help her better fit into the canon, I've actually changed Princess Snake's race in this timeline. She's going to be a part of Zarbon's race. I've always found it interesting that both her and Zarbon are blue characters who have a reptilian transformation, and thought that there might be a connection there. So with that said, I present to you the story of Raditz and Snake. Raditz's body had disappeared very soon after he had given Vegeta his last senzu bean and watched the other Saiyan fly back in to attack the Frost Demons. He was angry and wanted to watch the end of the tormentors of his race, but he had faith in his little brother and the Prince of all Saiyans. Kakarot had told him that the Dragon Balls had the power to revive the dead, so that meant that this would not be a permanent end to him, right? Against his better judgment, the older Saiyan began to have doubts, and for a while was looking very awkward in the long line of souls as he saw King Yemma sitting at the center of his desk. He then began to try to put on his usual bravado, saying that hell probably wouldn't be too bad, and that he could maybe see his father, maybe even get a good fight with him. Though he doubted he'd see his mother there, as she would always have been much too sweet. He began to cheer more and more at the idea of seeing his father again, but was brought out of his musings when King Yemma began yelling at him for holding up the line. The long-haired Saiyan walked forward, and was prepared to be sent to hell, but Yama actually pointed towards Snake Way, saying that King Kai had asked to see him, and Raditz almost dropped his jaw before laughing and running right down the long road at high speed. As fast as he was, he knew the trip couldn't take him too long, but in the middle of his flight, he ended up passing a large palace, and could smell food from it. He stopped and decided that a meal wouldn't hurt, as he was dead and had a lot of time on his hands now. He stopped and entered into the large palace and noticed a few things. This was some kind of inn/restaurant. The staff seemed to all be women with an almost blue complexion that reminded him of someone that he couldn't place his finger on. And finally, there was an ogre currently yelling about his meal and asking for more food because apparently he would need it all and had a long journey to King Kai's to train. Raditz then laughed at the proud boast of the large ogre, which got his attention. He snarked that he was going to need a lot more than food to make it to King Kai's, and besides, it was impossible to die of hunger up here, so he might as well just let the ladies do their jobs and serve others. He snarked all of this in his usual bravado-like way. The ogre then got in his face and roared that he was the one who surpassed King Yemma, and as such the food belonged to him. The ogre also made the mistake of pushing Raditz. Needless to say, the next second, the ogre was sent flying out of the restaurant, and Raditz was in his seat ordering a meal. He was served pretty quickly by one of the waitresses, who thanked him for the help, and soon had a curly-haired woman walk over. He noticed she had an air like Vegeta's, that of royalty. She thanked him for dealing with the brew, and said that she didn't want to do it herself as it was pretty unladylike, before she giggled and sat next to him. She said that usually they charge a portion of someone's soul for a meal, but his would be on the house today. Raditz then gave her a grin, somewhat a cross between Turles' snarky smirk and Goku's genuine smile, and asked her name, to which he was given Snake. The two began to conversate like old friends, making the time fly by. She informed him that this place was a rest stop between Snake Way and King Kai's, and most warriors gave up before reaching this place. She also mentions that she was the owner, and actually asked King Yemma to allow her to run this place in return for her and her servants having their bodies to use in Otherworld. Raditz really enjoyed himself here, and the company, and decided that he would return here after going to King Kai's, as the trip was very quick for him, and King Kai probably wouldn't mind him coming and going, so far as he was there and back within a reasonable amount of time to train. By the time that Bulma and her team reached Namek, Snake and he had grown very, very close. One eventful visit involved one of the servers accidentally referring to Snake as Princess, which she had actually avoided up till now. This caused the woman to turn pale, as Raditz's suspicions about her royalty status were confirmed, and he began to interrogate her about this aspect of herself that she had kept out of their conversations. She gains a very solemn look. Having already been told that Raditz was ex-Frieza Force, asked a question, "Do you know of a man named Zarbon?" Now this got Raditz's eyes to widen, as he had confirmed that yes, he did know of a man named Zarbon, and had assumed that they were of the same race, since they both had the same bluish skin and almost reptilian eyes. But then he gains a proud smile and claims that he was actually the one who killed Zarbon. Snake then looks especially surprised, and surges forward, hugging the man, almost crying. Once calmed down, Snake reveals that not only was Zarbon the prince of their world, but also her older brother. She explains that their world was sold to them by the Frieza forces, and that Zarbon had grown angry with their father, because he felt that the monarchy should be disbanded. Zarbon did not like this idea, and as such decided that if he could not rule their world, then there would be no world. He contacted Frieza behind their backs and lied about a plan to overthrow the Emperor, which Frieza took at face value. Zarbon told this to her and her father as he fled the planet, gaining some sadistic pleasure from it, as he had served Frieza since then. Raditz was sent reeling from this information, but it didn't really change how he felt about Snake at this point. He knew that he had fallen in love with this woman already. She wasn't as outspoken as Kakarot's mate, but by no means was she weak, And besides, when she wanted to, she could be incredibly terrifying, especially when mad. She would fly into her monster form whenever a patron was rude to one of her servers. Now we can skip to the time after Toadlet had died in battle on Namek. He, unlike his best friend, wasted no time in making it down Snake Way, as he was very excited to see Raditz, but was surprised to arrive to King Kai's and find Tien and Raditz training. Now let's say that Raditz and Snake had decided to get together about 3 months before this event takes place, so he also finds a pregnant Snake there as well. Turles makes the usual congratulations and slyly asks if this means that Raditz and Launch would not be a couple. This actually gets Snake to go into her monster form and hear of a romantic rival. A while later, King Kai ends up contacting the Namekians after the Earthlings had wished to be transplanted to Earth, and asks them to use the last wish to revive Snake, as she couldn't just stay there on King Kai's planet with the baby for too much longer. Raditz's group makes it down Snake Way very fast, having trained at King Kai's pretty hard and gotten a lot stronger. They meet the Z-Fighters, excluding Vegeta and Goku, who are apparently on their way back to Earth in space pods. Raditz and Snake then proudly introduce their son to the world, Zuccho, a mixture of a traditional Saiyan name and the traditional of Zarbon's race to have kings named with a Z. But that plus Soldier fams will be leaving this timeline off for now. I really hope you guys enjoyed. But as always, go beyond plus Ultra. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.